Good morning. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Sandye. This morning, I'm having a little Sanity in a cup. I've been up for a while today because Bailey, my wonder dog, came bounding in at like 2 minutes after. No, it wasn't even 5 o'clock. It was like 3:45. Came bounding in and wanted my attention. Wanted a little loving, little morning loving. Yeah. So that started my day. And then I got my squishes from Indy, which is my favorite part of the day, and coffee and you. And I got everything done already that I needed to get done. I just love early mornings, especially when I'm not having a headache when I wake up. And I didn't have a headache this morning. That's so awesome. You know what today is? High of 77 expected here today. Opa. Do you know how many degrees? We're going to be like 35 degrees hotter than you are today. We are in the middle of a major heat spell here in the desert. It's going to be up into the 120-ish, in the high teens, up into the 20s, and maybe even over 120. I don't know if I've ever been here when it's been over like 121, I think is maybe the highest I've been in. I'm not really sure, but I have a feeling we're going to find out in this next week. So our agreement is go to tennis, show up. If it gets so hot that we're all not feeling good, we go home. Yeah. Yes, Opa, you beat me to that one. It is National Bourbon Day. I'm not an imbiber, but do you know that bourbon is actually like an area? It's a county in Kentucky. That was my little bit of info for the day. It's a county in Kentucky, and bourbon is just like, like there's Bordeaux grapes, and we drink Bordeaux, and a Bordeaux region in France. Well, it's National Bourbon Day from Bourbon, Kentucky. So this heat wave is causing forest fires. Yeah. We get brush fires a lot in California, and sometimes they spread, and they're so it's all pervasive. Good morning, Ginny. Brush fires happen everywhere, I know, but Southern California particularly, and in Northern California, we get a lot of brush fires. Yesterday, I got in the car to go visit Fritzy, and I looked off to the mountains on my left. We're in a valley, so we have mountains pretty much all the way around. It's so beautiful. But I looked off to my left, which is looking southwest, and behind the first range of mountains there was all this smoke. I mean, like lots of smoke. And the further I got towards where Fritzy was, the closer I was getting to even with the fire. And unfortunately there's this, like, it's in the mountains, but there are some homes there too that had to be evacuated. Indy and I love this one spot up there where when it's really hot down here, we go over there because it's like 20 degrees cooler, and it's a camping area. But because of the pandemic, there was never anyone around. No one was going camping. So Indy and I would go there and have our picnics, and it was we always had the whole entire place to ourselves. And it's huge campgrounds, Pinyon Pines up there. Oh, it's beautiful. Well, apparently yesterday it was burning. I don't know. I tried to find out if it was contained yet, but honestly don't know. Yeah, forest fires, brush fires, bad time of year when it's this hot. But the Fritzy report, I did get to Fritzy's. She just cracks me up, and I wonder if we're all going to be like that when we get older. We were looking at, she loves to look at old pictures. So, and new, she doesn't even care if she doesn't know who's in them. She just likes to look at pictures of people. But we were on the portal looking at family pictures mostly. And I would say to her, this is your grandson, so-and-so. This is your granddaughter, so-and-so. This is so-and-so's son. This is so-and-so, not so-and-so. I mean, I'd use names, but the only person that she recognized every single time was me. Occasionally, my older brother, And the only time she recognized herself was photos of her where she was like 50 years old and younger. She was, by the way, quite the hottie at 50. Yeah, she was awesome at 50. No kidding. My father always wanted to be married to a blonde. So my mother dyed her hair for as long as I can remember. I mean, like from childhood on to adulthood. For me, my childhood to my adulthood, my mother was a platinum blonde. I mean, that's what my father wanted. So that's what my mother was, right? And then sometime in her 60s, she decided, okay, I'm done with this. This is ridiculous. She stopped dyeing her hair. And in her 60s, it grew in brown, not gray, brown, totally brown. So that's why, I mean, I do have a lot of gray, but I'm in my I'm in my early 70s. That's not very much gray for being in my 70s. Thank you, Mom. My father, on the other hand, totally gray. What can I say? Different strokes, different folks. So the Fritzy report. So do a rain dance. Oh, you mean because we need it for the fires? I might do that later. I don't really like rain, but rain would be really nice right now, I guess. Yeah, okay, thanks. I'll give that some thought. I might be able to do that. I have a happy dance. Why not a rain dance? Anyway, Fritzy. So, as usual, the greetings are so amazing from her. She is so happy to have the company every time I show up. It's delightful. But every time I showed her pictures of herself now, she would look at them and go like this. Mom, do you know who that is? Mom, that's you. What do you mean? That's an old lady. And I would look at her and I'd say, Ma, you're an old lady. In a few weeks, you're going to be 98 years old. You're not young anymore. I can show you pictures of when you were young, and then we look at pictures of her as a nurse, and hilarious. So then I opened my phone because I took a bunch of pictures yesterday. I said I was going to post pictures. I'll post some pictures today. Let me write that down. Post Fritzy photos. Okay, I will do that. So we were looking at pictures on my phone, and there were like a slew of pictures of her. And I'd say, okay, you tell me which ones you like. And I'd show her a picture and she'd go. And then finally she went, and I looked to see what it was. It was a picture of me. She is so funny. And it's like, I am over the moon when I'm there, because all she does is tell me how beautiful I am. Do you know how amazing that is? Come on. Do you have somebody in your life who tells you you're beautiful? You should find someone. Pay him if you have to. It feels so good. Yeah. Okay, what else? As of Tuesday, in California, we don't have to wear masks anymore at all. I know. Really? It's like life back to normal? Is that possible? What am I going to do with I probably have 50 copies of How to Be Happy and Grateful even during a quarantine. We'll have to do something with those. Tell you what, you pay the shipping and you can have as many as you want. Free. Just pay the shipping. But promise me you'll pass them out to people. I just want to get them out there. They're not doing any good in my garage, and I'm not doing any shows, and I'm not doing any speaking engagements right now, although they could be starting again soon. Who knows? Let's wait for the phone to ring. Because then I use them there, sell them or give them away there. Okay. We went to go to the movies yesterday. So I looked at what movies were playing. While I was out of town, Indy went to see Godzilla. He said it was great. I'm glad he went while I was out of town. Wouldn't have been my choice. But honestly, couldn't find a movie I wanted to see. And so if you know of any movies, see, it felt so safe to go to the movies because when we went, first of all, you can look and see which seats are filled and pick your seats. So if you look online towards the last minute, you can look and see how crowded the theater is going to be. When we went, seriously, there were like, I don't remember if there were 4 or 6 people in the theater. It was crazy. And we could pick seats that weren't near anybody else. So that was pretty cool. So we thought maybe we'll go again. That was fun. But guess what? We couldn't find a movie we wanted to see. No. So instead, we watched 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. I'm telling you, I don't know what to do. We're already on season 5. There were only 7 seasons. So I'm getting a little nervous about what am I going to do when it's over? I love Game of Thrones. Yeah. Okay. It's Family History Day. Have you ever done that? I have some stuff that some relatives have done, so I've looked at that, but I haven't really, like jumped in with both feet to do that. But it is kind of interesting. Anybody, any genealogy experts out there? Tell me your experiences of that. It's International Bath Day. Yeah. Have you ever been to Bath in England, by the way? Oh my God. It's magical. Seriously. It's this ancient city where the Roman baths were, and you can still walk through. I mean, the buildings, personally, I don't know very much that lasts that long. I think that's why I'm such an Anglophile, because when they say old buildings, they don't mean 50 years. Anyway, coming into Bath with all of the buildings built into the side of the mountain, and then you get into Bath and it's all these ancient ruins and buildings you can still walk through where the ancient baths were. Oh, Bath is an amazing place. And I'm glad they just named it Bath because it's easy for me to remember it that way. It's also Magic Circles Day, and I tried to look that up for you, but I got like creeped out, so I stopped looking. If you know something about that, share it, because I don't want to look any further. It was like black magic stuff that I kept seeing. Let me see if somebody said something. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, I'm not going there about that bath. Okay, I'm moving right along. We talked about National Bourbon Day, but it's also Strawberry Shortcake Day, and I don't think they mean the character Strawberry Shortcake, although she was awfully cute. I remember my daughter was hooked on Strawberry Shortcake, and I had to draw Strawberry Shortcake on everything she had when she was a little kid. Pause for the Pledge Day. Do you remember how important the Pledge of Allegiance was every morning and what a big deal it was if you got chosen to lead the pledge for the whole class? I pledge allegiance to the flag. And then there's that thing that I've seen done where they take little kids and ask them to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and they totally screw up the words, and it's so cute because they have no idea what they're saying. Poor little kids. It's Pop Goes the Weasel Day. Yes, it is. I even printed something out. Where is it? National Pop Goes the Weasel Day. So bottom line is Pop Goes the Weasel has been around for like 300 plus years. Today is a day not just to celebrate Pop Goes the Weasel, but to celebrate nursery rhymes and be a kid again. So you can go around and sing nursery rhymes and tell people it's nursery rhyme day. It's Pop Go the Weasel Day. But I thought this was interesting. The original version of Pop Goes the Weasel was half a pound for 2 penny rice, half a pound for treacle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel, up and down the city road, in and out the eagle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel. So the eagle, in and out the eagle was a public house, a pub in London in like 1825. And there's a plaque on the outside of that public house with those original words to Pop Goes the Weasel. So they think that's what it's referring to. And then there's the alternate version that you probably learned as a kid, because it's the one I learned. Um, a penny for a spool of thread, a penny for a needle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel. And in that case, the weasel is interpreted as being like the shuttle or a bobbin that was used by silk weavers and was being pawned in a similar way. Anyway, it was referring to the suits that the Cockneys wore, but it doesn't matter. There's a million different, not a million, but there are many different versions of this nursery rhyme. They're all fun. They all have that catchy little tune. Obviously catchy because it's been around for over 300 years already. Pretty cool, right? I think so. You've never heard either of those versions of Pop Goes the Weasel? Oh, you need to type in what your version is. I would love to know. I know there are other versions, but that's the one that I grew up with, the one they printed. All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey thought it was all in fun. Pop goes the weasel. Ah, you're right. That is another version. Thank you, Indy. All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey thought it was all in fun. Pop goes the weasel. Oh, yeah. But then a penny for a spool of thread, a penny for a needle. Okay, whatever. You know the monkey version? Yeah. Well, okay, sorry. I guess that's another verse maybe of the same song. In 2009, the Lakers won the 10th championship, NBA championship under Coach Phil Jackson. Pretty cool, right? Remember I taught you the word machetenim? Machetenim are my relatives by marriage. So my machetenim, Shell, famous doctor, by the way, who was my sister-in-law's dad, had season tickets to the Lakers. But he didn't just have season tickets. He had season tickets that were like literally a row or two behind the where the players sit, whatever you call that thing. And every once in a while, when Shell was alive, I would be lucky enough to be invited to go with him to go to the game. I think he had 4 tickets. I only went with him once, I think, but once he gave the tickets to my niece or my nephew or my brother, and I got taken then. And oh, it's so cool to sit like right there with the players. It's amazing. Shell is not alive, but the tickets were handed down from generation to generation. And I know there's still family members who, machetenim at least, who go to enjoy those Lakers games because the Lakers are awesome. Happy birthday to Steffi Graf, the tennis player, German tennis player, started when she was very young. Oh, and BoyGeorge. BoyGeorge was such a hit, wasn't he? Kind of weird, but at the time, but now he doesn't look weird at all. 1940 on this day was the first transport to arrive at Auschwitz at the concentration camp, filled with Poles. Yeah, I want to tell you a wonderful story about Auschwitz survivors, but it would take too long, so I have to save it for another day. But I have some friends. No, I'll tell you a short version. I have a friend who married the son of an Auschwitz survivor. She was the daughter of Auschwitz survivors. Her parents and his parents knew each other before they went to Auschwitz. The mothers became friends when they met at Auschwitz. All 4 parents made it out of Auschwitz. One couple went one direction, one couple went the other direction, but they met after the war, many years after the war, to get to know each other again. They stayed in touch. And one couple had a son, one couple had a daughter. The son was traveling the world and was going to come to the United States. The daughter lived in the United States. He came and stayed with her, and they ended up getting married. And they're still married like 40 years later. What a beautiful story. Boy, that was a short version. Woo! Ah, yes. Opa keeps talking about bombings today. Last night on 60 Minutes, they did a thing on assault rifles, and the idea that it used to be shocking when a school was bombed or there was a mass killing somewhere with someone pulling out an assault rifle and just hammering away. And now it's like we don't even remember which one is which because there's so many of them. Come on, world. Chill. Henry Mancini died today. Oh, great music. I guess I put him in the list because for a very short time, I dated his nephew. Yeah, but you know what? Other than being a Mancini, there was nothing that great about him, so I didn't date him for long. The monorail opened at Disneyland in 1959. Oh, yeah. Do you remember? Okay, so for those of you who were lucky enough to be able to go to Disneyland back in the early 60s, Tomorrowland was like, it was shocking. It was amazing. They had to close the Monsanto house because everything in it was already happening. Tomorrowland wasn't tomorrow. Tomorrowland became today. So cool. So cool. What else? In 1989, Carole King got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I have a feeling that get ready, when she got her star, you could feel the earth move under your feet. I feel the earth move under my skin. I feel the tide tumbling down. Oh, and in 2002, Mick Jagger was knighted by the Queen. I have to be honest with you, I did not know that Mick Jagger was Sir Mick Jagger. Pretty cool. All right, word art. I know you're going to like the word art today because it's about generosity. And it says generosity is a win-win situation. You do good and it feels good. That's kind of like gift with purchase, or in this case, gift with gift. You give it away and you get a gift back. Go out and do something really generous today. Something maybe that you hadn't even planned on doing. Yeah. Do a good deed. See how that feels. Be insane, because you can always have sanity in a cup. So go be insanely generous today. I'm not playing tennis. I'm resting my knee and my hip, giving him a day off. Gonna do a little ice, do a little dance. Okay. Have a sip or a gulp or whatever you need. Be generous with your smiles today. Yeah. I'll see you guys on Terrific Tuesday. Have a marvelous Monday. Bye-bye.